Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Fine Tune. My guest today is R.G. Lyndoh, a politician, a poet, an author, singer. He has been the Home Minister of the state of Meghalaya for quite a number of years, and now he's taking over as a Vice Chancellor of a university out here. R.G., thanks a lot for joining our program today. Welcome to Fine Tune. It's really wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
Now, Bob, coming to certain serious things, when we talk about the Congress party here, I mean, Congress is there in your blood. I think your father was a member of the parliament from the Congress party. Your sister is a minister in the present government. How do you see the future of the Congress in Northeast?
The Congress seems to be well entrenched. And the reason that it is well entrenched is because there is no other viable alternative. However, wherever viable alternatives have come up, they have given the Congress a run for the money. For instance, in Tripura, where the CPI or the left front is seen as a viable alternative, they've been in power and they've been making things tough for the Congress to come back even. Nagaland, the NPF and its allies, the DAN, they've proven themselves to be a viable alternative to the Congress. And I feel in a way it is good, because whenever a viable alternative comes out, then the first thing that happens is there's a lot of accountability that is demanded from the political circles. All the players in the field are made more accountable, and hence they have to be more responsible for their actions. So I feel that there is a definite need today to
Come up with a
viable options to the Congress, so that the whole democratic system becomes better.
But how do you see the regional parties versus Congress?
Unfortunately, the so-called regional parties that we have are not even regional. They belong to a certain region within a state. They are not pan the Northeast region, for instance. Now, in order for a regional party to actually become a viable alternative to the Congress, they have to be able to put up candidates in all the constituencies. None of the regional parties have so far been able to do that. So there is a need for them to come together, form some sort of a common front.
What you mean to say is the local parties in all states combine together and form a regional front?
No, not necessarily in the region as a whole, although that would be perfect. But even within the state, you look at Nagaland. Nagaland, the NPF plus the other parties have come together to form a viable option against the Congress. In Meghalaya, perhaps if the UDP, the HSPDP, the NPP, they all come together, they would be able to form a viable option. But coming together has to be, it has to be a credible front. People have to see them as really meaning business.
It's
they have
not
to look
that
at them
for the
seriously.
sake of forming, they form the party, and perhaps after the election it's all over.
There has to be a pre-poll alliance, because a pre-poll alliance would mean that they would all come under the anti-defection law.
True.
So, and then there has to be sacrifices. So these things have to be looked at, and I feel that if they can do that, then democracy will really thrive in the Northeast. As it is today, I don't think it's just a sham.
It's a sham, you feel. Bob, another thing which really created ripples, that was just during the last assembly elections we had in Meghalaya. You were a person, despite being from a Congress background family, despite your sister contesting the election, you went and campaigned for a guy who was from another party. I mean, reports came out, people were talking about it, but that is quite expected of Bob. He feels whatever the truth is, truth, and he will always speak about it. I mean, what prompted you to do that? Jemino, he's also a friend of ours.
I felt that Dr. Jemino had a lot to contribute for the state as a whole. And I felt that his presence in the assembly would be good for the state as a whole. And I felt he was a better candidate than his opponent. So I
So you campaigned for him as a friend?
As a friend. I campaigned for him as not just as a friend, because the other candidates were my friends as well, but as a friend who would actually be good for the people, who would be positive in his lookout and who would be able to bring about necessary change in mindsets. That's why in his case I campaigned for Dr. Gemino, and when it came to my home constituency, I campaigned for Dr. Ampareen.
Now, talking about the neighboring state of Assam, if you see past few months, there has been a lot of dissidence within the Congress. I mean, you know, leaders from Delhi had to come and finally, but dissidence seems to be still there. You know, any time the crisis situation comes, these people tend to get active. What's your take on that? You have been observing the entire region very closely.
Dissidence is good, because I think we want democracy to thrive. We don't want autocracy to come into the picture, you know. And in order for democracy to thrive, there has to be dissidence, there has to be discussion, there has to be debates, and then the best policy is agreed upon, you know. So I think it is important. But dissidence just for the sake of a single person wanting power, I think is bad. I would say that the day that we understand that it is the people, because democracy becomes for the people only during election time. Post-election, it is no longer for the people or by the people.
Right.
You know. Now, if that for the people and the by the people can be sustained throughout the 5 years, then even the dissidency that can come up will actually benefit the state as a whole, and I think that is something that will be very, very good. You know, so I think, like I said, dissidency is good, provided it is not for the wrong reasons.
Right. Meghalaya once happened to be part of Assam. I mean, I could say, put it that way, that Shillong was once the capital of, Assam, and after the state was created, there has been a lot of problem as far as the border is concerned, the interstate border. We keep on talking about it. What's your take on that?
I feel that, these are political issues, and
no, but how it needs to be sorted out? I mean, whenever
these have to be sorted out politically across the table. The sad part is, we fail to see that it is affecting the lives of people who are actually staying in the border. For centuries, these people in the border have been living together. They celebrate birthdays together, they celebrate weddings together, there's intermarriage going on between them. One person grows the crops, another person sells the crops, another person buys the crops. So even trade and commerce happens among them. Now, it's not such a big issue. We still all belong to the same country, and the unfortunate part is that now these political dialogues are being turned into emotional issues, and these emotional issues are actually affecting the lives of the people down there at the border, which is so sad. And to say that, you see, since it has become an emotional issue, to say that Assam will give up some territory for Meghalaya is, the politician who agrees on that from Assam is going to affect his political career. Similarly, the politician from Meghalaya who agrees on that is going to affect his political career. So I think here we have to understand that it needs a third party. A third party has to come in, and this is where, since we all belong to India, we all belong to one country, and that is India. I think from the center there should be somebody who could come in and actually, settle the issue and settle it once and for all, so that those people down there on the ground, in the border, can start living their normal lives again.
It's time now for a short commercial break, but we'll be back right away. So please be with us. Welcome back. R.G. Lyndoh is still with us in fine tune, and now we would be knowing from him his views on certain contemporary issues. Baba, what's your take on the influx issue, which is confronting? Of course, Meghalaya is not facing much of it, but if you see the other, not much of it, there are other states who are facing it more. Generally, if you take the entire region, influx is there, and is going on. What's your take on that?
See, as far as I'm concerned, yes, I feel influx will actually adversely affect the demography of a place, and there is a need to conserve the traditional and cultural identity of these small peoples across the Northeast, you know. But we also have to understand that influx does not happen just by itself. There's an economic drive that makes influx happen. People see economic opportunities here, that's why they come from outside to this place. Now, why do these economic opportunities come up? It comes up either because the people from here do not have the skill, or they do not have the work culture, and the way to actually combat it in the long run would be to develop the skills that we require so that our own people could take up these jobs. In the short run, yes, there are perhaps some interim measures that need to be taken. And now, what these measures are needs to be looked at very closely, because I don't think we should chop off our heads because we have a headache. It does not make sense. You know, it would perhaps be better if we look at for solutions that would not adversely affect other sectors.
Right.
You know, so yeah, we do need some laws that would, in the meantime, check this influx. It could be for labor laws, you know, work permits, etc., etc.
So stringent measures should be taken, you feel?
Yeah, just to ensure that in the short run this influx is contained, but in the long run we have to build up the work culture of our people. We have to build up the sense of dignity of labor among our people, and we have to be able to build up the skills that are required. For instance, today we may find a lot of engineers and architects from among our people, but how many plumbers are there?
True.
How many masons are there? And we need plumbers and we need masons. Now, if there are no plumbers
As
or masons
said,
from
that
here,
it's easier to get graduates than to get plumbers.
yeah. Now, if there is a need for a plumber, and there are none from our own people, well, every construction person will have to bring a plumber from somewhere, isn't it?
So we have to evolve altogether a different approach to the whole East.
Exactly, and I don't think it should be treated emotionally. Too often we look for emotional solutions, and we get driven by emotions when we're looking for emotions. I think we have to be able to step back and be a little more rational before we take a decision. Yeah.
Bob, let's move on to certain contemporary issues. You're a person who speaks from the heart, and you always call a spade a spade. I mean, you have never hesitated over the years. I mean, whatever comes, you just say it. You know, unique system in Meghalaya and other parts of the Northeast where we are following the reservation policy. Do you feel that some introspection needs to be done, that reservations should be on basis of the economic status?
Definitely. We cannot have reservation based on community. It doesn't make sense any longer. Today, our so-called reserved categories, you find even within these reserved categories, there's so much of a discrepancy in economic conditions. There's a discrepancy in their access to different help from the government, whether it is education, whether it is health. There's a massive difference. I think today, if we at all we have reservation, it should be number one based on economic condition of the people, and the second thing would be based on their access to whatever amenities are there. For instance, in the rural areas where access to education and all that is still very poor, especially to higher education, they deserve to get reservation, because they cannot cope with what is happening in the urban areas, with the sort of students that are coming across. But just on community alone, I think
I really think a serious thought needs to be put on that. I think the policy and the decision makers really has to give a serious
because
thought.
reservation on communal lines divides us. It seriously divides us.
Bob, one question I have to you is that you would be taking over as the Vice Chancellor of this university very soon, and you're taking over at a time when a lot of universities within the state are under scanner. I mean, we all know about it, what is happening. What do you think about the whole thing? What's your take on that?
I feel that to ensure that education does not become just a profit-based industry, there is a need to put these institutions under the scanner, because education should not be profit-based. It should be developmental-based. And I feel that we need private universities, because private universities can bring a change in the whole education system. Earlier on, we had said that we find more engineers and doctors and architects, but very few X-ray technicians, very few plumbers and all that. Because the present education system does not allow the development of these ancillary industries. Now, if private universities would come and would offer courses, for instance, a hotel management course, aimed not at making hotel managers who would be working in Taj and Oberoi and Hilton, but who would be working in, say, Center Point or Monsoon Hotel or Pinewood Hotel. I mean, you're giving them relevant education in the rural areas. Can we give the youth in the rural areas education that would make them see the opportunities in the rural areas, rather than education that would make them migrate from rural to urban areas? I think there is a need to look into all this, and private universities have that flexibility, which the present conventional government universities do not have that sort of flexibility.
It's time for another commercial break, and when we come back, we would like to know from Mr. R.J. Lyndoh more about his life, his likes and dislikes. So please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still with Fine Tune, and Bob is still with us. Now let us talk to him something about his music, his likes and dislikes. Bob, let's talk something about your life, your personal life, your likes and dislikes. You were the topper in Acceleri in Jamshedpur. We all know about it.
Not the topper, but
I mean, you
okay.
had done extremely well. Now, I mean, you're being modest by saying that you are not the topper, but we know your position there and with what results you had come out. It was flying colors, I would say. Now, as you take over as the Vice Chancellor of these universities, what are the things you had learned there you would like to implement here?
The first thing is, I feel that I would put a lot of stress on developing not just skills, but skills with a good value system. Because we need a value system. We need to reinforce the value system within society. There's no point having a skill with no value systems. Today, we find rapes, we find abuse happening because of the fact that our breakdown in the value system. So I would like to reinforce that.
Bob, whenever I talk to you, one incident which comes to my mind, it was when you were the Home Minister. You were invited as the chief guest in the North at some function in Northeastern Hill University. I was also present there, and there was a band which was performing there, and you were the chief guest. You delivered your lecture, and I was just behind you. And I was watching you very carefully. You were sitting and enjoying the music for quite some time. After certain moment, I saw some reaction in your body. I mean, you couldn't stay in that place. You walked to the stage, took out your harp, joined the entire band, and the evening with the chief guest was wonderful. I mean, isn't that, when music is there, you can't control yourself?
Yeah, I love music. I love music. And the incident that you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, the band that I used to play with, Mojo, which was still in existence at that point of time, although I had left them, they were playing. So I could get up on stage and actually jam with them a few numbers. So yeah, that's how it happened. Music's always been a part of my life. In fact, for me, my writing, my poetry and my music is the safety valve that perhaps allows me to express things quietly and stops me from going crazy.
That has kept you in control always.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Your Bible, which is always there in the pocket, is the harp.
Yeah,
We
my
all know
blues.
about
I'm a blues band. Yeah.
it. Yeah. So I'm sure you have it right now. While talking to me, you'll always carry it, I know. Could we have some performance by you for our viewers, please?
Yeah, you're right. I got the harp with me.
You have to have it. Otherwise, you're not Mr. Bob, you know.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I'll just play it.
Okay.
I'll not say anything.
What are you?
This is a blues song that I personally like a lot.
Okay. Your best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another man done gone. 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 I didn't know his name. 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 He from the county line. 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 Another man done gone. Another man done gone. Another man done gone. Another man done gone. And on.
Bob in his true colors. Really great. Thanks a lot. And as we come towards the end of this session, though, I would like to sit with you for a longer period and talk. It has been long. We did not chat with each other. I have an envelope with me, and it contains 10 questions. Basically, I would be asking you the questions impromptu, at random. You could answer them in yes or no, or perhaps in short sentence. But my request is, please don't take much of time. Whatever thought occurs in your mind, please say yes or no. And if you allow me, can I open it?
Please.
Okay.
Who made these questions?
We have a team there who made the questions. If you're ready, can we start now?
Sure.
Is it possible to control your thoughts?
No.
I want to be a music composer one day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I would like to have my own rock band someday.
Done that already.
Do you ever lose your temper?
All the time. Very difficult to control it.
I will never be in politics, come whatever may.
Nah, I would not make such a straight statement. No.
Is it yes or no?
I wouldn't make a straight statement.
Okay. People of Northeast are very slow. It's the land of lahe lahe.
The dependency syndrome that is there makes them slow. The sooner they get out of the dependency syndrome, the faster they will become.
One day I would like to write my own autobiography.
Yeah, maybe.
Indians are crazy about two things, cricket and Bollywood. Are you fond of any one of them?
Neither.
Behind every successful man, there is a woman. Who is she?
Who are they?
Who are they?
My mother,
And?
my sisters, and yeah, the special one. Yeah.
Okay. So all the ladies in the thing. Okay, fine. Do you believe in God?
Definitely. I don't wear my religion on my sleeve, but I'm very spiritual.
And lastly, what's your philosophy in life?
Live and let live.
Mr. R.J. Lyndoh, thanks a lot for sparing your valuable time and to be with us and fine tune. It was really wonderful talking to you, and I wish we could have continued for a longer period. Thank you very much, and all the blessings to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I hug you?
Yeah.
Thanks.
So that was R.J. Lyndoh talking to us frankly from his heart. And with this, we come to the end of this edition of Fine Tune. We'll be back with you again next week, same time, same place. Till then, take care, and it's bye from your host, Rajiv Chaudhary.